Throughout history, cultures around the world have told tales of terrifying and awe-inspiring creatures, monsters that lurk in the shadows, guard sacred places, or challenge the bravest of heroes. From the fire-breathing dragons of Europe to the shape-shifting yoki of Japan, these mythical beasts embody the fears, beliefs, and imaginations of their people. This series will explore some of the most legendary monsters of mythology, uncovering their origins, powers, and the stories that keep them alive to this day. Welcome to Myth and Lores, a journey into the dark and divine. Without further ado, let's jump into another lore. Fairies are fascinating creatures in various myths, stories, and legends across cultures. The lore surrounding them is vast, and they have evolved, but they share a few common themes in many stories: mystical powers, mischief, and often a connection to nature. Here's a breakdown of how fairies appear in different traditions. Celtic and Irish mythology. Fairies are deeply ingrained in Celtic folklore, particularly in Irish mythology. The Tuatha De Danann are a group of supernatural beings who, after being defeated in battle, retreated into the Otherworld, which is sometimes thought to be a fairy realm. Fairies in this context are often depicted as elegant and powerful, connected to nature, and not always benevolent. They can be helpful or mischievous, and humans must be cautious not to offend them. The Seelie and Unseelie courts. In Scottish folklore, fairies were divided into two courts. The Seelie court, which consisted of benevolent fairies who were more likely to help humans, and the Unseelie court, made up of darker and more malicious fairies who might cause harm or mischief. These two groups were often portrayed as rivals: the good people, or little folk. In many English and Irish traditions, fairies were referred to as the good people, as people believed it was bad luck to name them directly. Instead, people would call them things like the fair folk or the wee folk to avoid angering them. They were considered powerful, ancient beings who could be unpredictable and vengeful if disrespected. The Fairy Queen and Court. Queen Mab is a well-known fairy who rules over the fairies in mortals' dreams and sleep. Shakespeare mentions her in Romeo and Juliet, where she is portrayed as the queen of a fairy kingdom that delights in causing dreams and mischief. Titania and Oberon. These two characters from Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream represent the fairy king and queen in a more fantastical, courtly light. Their arguments and interactions with humans in the play further explore the idea of fairies influencing human affairs. Fairies in other cultures. Slavic folklore. In Slavic mythology, there are many types of fairies and spirits, such as the domovoi, household spirits, and the rusalki, water spirits similar to nymphs. While not always fairies in a traditional sense, these creatures play a similar role in influencing human lives and interacting with nature. Nordic folklore. Elves and Landvatir, spirits of nature in the land, are often considered analogous to fairies in Norse traditions. They are typically associated with certain landscapes like forests or rivers and are believed to have magical properties. Native American folklore. Some Native American traditions have stories of spirits being similar to fairies, like the little people in various tribes. These are often small, elusive beings connected to nature and its cycles. Depending on the tribe's beliefs, they can be helpful or mischievous. Fairies are typically portrayed in fairy tales as powerful magical beings who can bestow gifts, curses, or guidance. Some famous examples include Cinderella. The fairy godmother in Cinderella is one of the most iconic fairy figures in Western folklore. She uses magic to help the protagonist attend a royal ball. Sleeping Beauty. The three fairies, who give gifts to the newborn Aurora and Sleeping Beauty, are crucial to the story, with one fairy cursing her and the others trying to counteract it. In contemporary fantasy, fairies have become more ingrained in popular culture, often depicted as tiny winged creatures with a love for beauty and nature. Works like Peter Pan with Tinkerbell and books like the Fairy Chronicles or Artemis Fowl continue to adapt and modernize these ancient myths. Today's fairies are often portrayed as a mix of benevolent helpers or guardians of nature and trickster figures who could be capricious, like the mischievous pixies and sprites in modern fantasy. Fairies are often connected to nature, forests, streams, and wild places. They represent the untamed forces of nature, which can be beautiful and dangerous. Fairies are typically endowed with magical powers, whether the ability to shapeshift, curse or bless, or alter the fabric of reality in small ways. While considering that, fairies are known in folklore for causing trouble, especially when humans interfere with their realm. They might steal babies or lead travelers astray in a forest. Any fairy stories mentioned in Otherworld, a parallel realm where fairies reside, it's often described as a land of eternal beauty, where time moves differently, or a place humans can visit under exceptional circumstances, but only at a significant price. That concludes this lore. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next lore. Bye.